will do the German dance for you. It's fun and gay and tra-la-la. Hope you will enjoy my dance. Hilly-I, filly-I.
Oh my God! They killed Kitty! Oh my God! They killed Kitty!
What kind of sick weirdo are you?
Oh my God! They killed Kitty! See something, Mr. Mickey? They killed Kitty! Dude, Kenny is dead! Can you hold on a minute?
Sure.
I was standing out in a field, and I had this huge satellite dish sticking out of my...
What the hell are you talking about? Lunchy Munchy?
Shut it! Will you shut the up? Hilly-I, filly-I. Would you like some sauerkraut, German bud, German bud?
Okay, children, thank you very much.
Prescription for danger? Are you safe at County General?
Oh my God. You did everything you could.
No, I didn't. She's dead.
But I'm not giving up.
Might be looking at veggie burger.
Becky, come on.
Tommy!
Next time, open your eyes before you open your mouth.
Peter, would you please step out?
I'm in the middle of operating here.
Please step out.
ER, the new series, continues Wednesday at 9 on 4.
Topical, frank, and with offensive language now in 4. That news alternative.
It's Tuesday, the 22nd of February. Licence fee up by £3. Now, please bring back crocodile shoes. Where next for Beckham's? Will he take her up the arsenal? Wills gets girlfriend. He's no Edward. Please welcome the man who loved to spear Britney, Mr. Ian Lee.
Hello and welcome to the 11 o'clock show. Wouldn't it be great to be Prince William, huh? Think about it. Coming of age with the pick of 3 top blonde babes. Britney, Christina Aguilera and that triple-barrel posh bird. I can't even say it. Because on my 18th birthday, I only had 2 lovers to choose between. Left and right. I did both. I went skiing with 2 fellas. So who is Will's high society girl? Well, her name is Isabella Anstruta Goch Calthorpe. She's the palace favourite because all her hyphens are still intact. You can see why the millionaire heir to the throne is such a crumpet magnet. There aren't many 18-year-olds who can ask a girl, want to see my manservant, and not mean they're winky. So it's not all good news for Wills. His dad's organising his 18th birthday bash, and when Will's mates asked him to make sure he brought Charlie to the party, that isn't exactly what they meant. So what advice can we give Will on matters of the heart? Well, my advice to you, Your Royal Highness, is to go for Britney, Christina and the posh bird, because one day you're going to look like your dad. But enough of this royal rambling. Please welcome the girl who'd grace anyone's throne, Daisy Donovan.
I'm actually really pleased that Prince William is seeing Britney. He's just following a long tradition. Andrew used to go out with Q Stark, Charles went out with Susan George, and Edward's been out for years. At restaurants. Not necessarily gay restaurants.
Daisy, I think you better tell us what's coming up on tonight's show, if you don't mind.
Still to come on tonight's show, Ian. Paul Garner discovers how the fat cats at the BBC intend to spend our money. Showbiz correspondent Dominic Mohan lifts the lid on celebrity sleaze.
And later on, I'll be finding out if we can trust the police or whether we should take matters into our own hands.
Ian, have you ever taken the law into your own hands?
Well, not quite, but I did once bring off a traffic warden.
That's not great. Now it's time for the headlines.
Tonight's top stories. In Northern Ireland, Peter Mandelson has asked the British Army for token dismantling of weapons. Or as he put it, love the hair, love the combats, lose those guns. Ooh.
Hailing the success of the Lager Zone at the weekend, Dome strategists are planning to open several new zones. A kebab zone, an I love you, you bastard zone, and a waking up in a skip zone.
Jean-Paul Gaultier has had £200,000 worth of clothes stolen. He said he was upset about the loss of the jackets and wanted to get his hands on the shirt lifters.
Following the robbery, local police have said they're now looking for someone who looks like a right daft twat.
As a surprise treat for William's 18th birthday, Prince Charles attempts to learn Candle in the Wind on a steel drum.
And those are tonight's headlines. Ian, are you all geared up for tomorrow night?
Oh, absolutely, Daisy. It's going to be 90 minutes of pure English passion. Got the boys coming round, going to be screaming from the first touch of the ball.
Yeah, it's a big match for England.
What match?
It's England-Argentina at Wembley.
Oh, football. No, I was talking about something different.
Here's Danny Boy with his pre-match analysis.
It's Argentina versus England. The world beaters versus the wife beaters. Their last meeting at World Cup '98 saw England lose once again on penalties and David Beckham's popularity sink faster than the Belgrano. This time round, England manager Kevin Keegan must find a way of preventing David Beckham from becoming distracted by Posh Spice and her alluring see-through body. In the South American camp, the players have embarked on an intensive training programme, perfecting some classic Argentinian moves. Some have even given up their spare time to learn some popular English phrases. With Argentina currently experiencing a lull in creativity, they must wish they could call upon the services of heroes past. He once had the hand of God, he's now got the stomach of Buddha. A recent medical described Maradona as mentally slow and dangerously overweight. Doctors say it's only a matter of time before he signs for Middlesbrough. An improvement on England's recent performances is badly needed. One thing's for sure, everyone from ordinary fans to players' spouses will continue to support England through thick and thin. This is Danny Boy for the 11 o'clock show, Wembley.
David Beckham has everything: a beautiful wife, a wonderful child, looks, talent and the brain of a spoon. But when he skipped training to look after Brooklyn, he forfeited the right to play in the most important football match of the season.
Following the training ground bust-up with United boss Alex Ferguson, Beckham is rumoured to be leaving to play with somebody else. Probably Gaza, who's got the best sandpit and a deluxe buckaroo. But what really happened at Old Trafford? Forget what the papers are saying. Here's the inside story, straight from the pages of David Beckham's diary.
Thursday. Woke up, done my hair all boofy, ate breakfast with Victoria. I had 5 Weetabix, she had 3 sugar puffs, then she done coughing back up. There was a plastic Sol Campbell in the Weetabix, not a very good model. In real life, he isn't green and his legs are bigger and he looks like this.
Friday. Up all night. Brooklyn done a poo in his Louis Vuitton Pampers and look all sick. Vicky gone to shop, so I stayed in. Called Mr. Ferguson to say I can't come, Mr. Ferguson. He got cross and I was scared and I weed my sarong and it looked like this.
Saturday. Victoria tied my laces for me this morning. I like Victoria, she is nice. I saw her naked once and she looked like this. When I got to Manchester United, Mr. Ferguson said, "Oh, here comes the wee skiver." And I laughed because he said "wee." And then his face went all cross and he called me a lady's part beginning with C. He says I must decide what I want. Well, I want some ice cream and a pony and a thong. And when I do, it will look like this.
And if you'd like to hear more of Beckham's diary, it's now available on an audio cassette read by David himself. Running time approximately a week and a half.
And that was David Beckham's Man United diary.
What? Another drink!
I've something to say, and I tell you what, the world has gone mad. Our care homes are run by pedos, and our pedo homes are run by people who care. What in the name of Gary Glitter are we going to do about it?
Well, I, for one, can't stand by any longer and watch society rot. I'm going to take the law into my own hands. I'm going to hit the streets and give those pervs and scumballs a taste of the only medicine they understand. A light-hearted comedy report. And this is it.
With crime on the increase and the police being too rubbish to cope, many people have decided to take the law into their own hands. But should a bunch of thick, uneducated louts really be trusted to keep the peace? Or should we let the public do it? I've come here to London to find out. Are vigilantes a good or a bad thing, would you say?
Bad thing.
All the time?
Yes.
Supposing it was you that had had wrong done to you by a wrongdoer, would you not therefore want a right doer to go out and rewrite those wrongs that have been done to you wrongly?
I believe in our British police force.
I'm not saying you do, but supposing you enjoy walking around late at night in a balaclava with a knife, following women around. You don't do them any harm, it's just something you like doing. Is it then fair for you to be killed by a group of vigilantes?
Well, they wouldn't know that you're not going to hurt anybody following a woman, so you couldn't blame them.
Ken Livingston's got a plan to lighten the load of the police by introducing, and I quote, loony left lesbian vigilantes. They'll be tougher than ordinary women and handy with a truncheon, you know, if you know what I mean. Is that a good idea?
No, I don't think so. I think the police are the only force that should be entitled to use violence in any...
Well, they won't be using the truncheon for violence, I don't think.
No, sorry, not
for family loving.
For means of...
pleasure.
Yes. I don't...
I mean, fair play, we'd still enjoy their shows, though, wouldn't they? Saucy lesbian shows we like to see.
Yes, I'm sure they would.
Criminals be allowed to carry guns and weapons to protect themselves against vigilantes?
Allowed to carry guns.
Well, I mean, but criminals, though, they're going to get a lot of hassle from these vigilantes. They need some protection, don't they? Otherwise it's murder. They'll get murdered. Seriously, they'll get murdered out there. Maybe criminals should be allowed to carry knives to protect themselves against vigilantes.
No.
Sticks, man, come on, give them something.
No.
Would you hang a pervert?
Yes, I would.
But they would love it, wouldn't they? They love all that asphyxiant stuff.
They'd only love it once. They won't get a second chance to love it, would they?
Supposing someone bummed you against your will, would you retaliate by bumming them back or something a bit worse?
A bit worse. Yeah.
What's worse than the bumming?
Well, personally killing them. Well, if I had to, of course.
I like the way you say, of course. So there we have it. While there are criminals on the street, it appears there's always going to be some idiot who takes the law into his own hands. This has been Ian Lee, the 11 o'clock show, London. Come on, you bitch! Come on!
Well, that's it for part one. Coming up in part two, tabloid gossip king Dominic Mohan spills his beans on Robbie, Leonardo and Brittany.
But first, in his continuing series on social history, Ricky Gervais examines his gay rights. See you after the break.
Homo, faggot, queer. Just some of the derogatory terms we use to describe gay men. Bummer, there's another one, there are loads. Homosexuals have been persecuted for thousands of years. Against God, against nature, against the hand dryers in Baker Street toilets. That was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. In the 1960s, as pride in the gay community grew, acceptance was now the threat to the moral majority, and raids on bars where these chum boys hung out were frequent. Then, on June 28th, 1969, at the Stonewall Bar in Greenwich Village, police met with resistance. Enough is Enough by Donna Summer hadn't been released yet, but that's what they would have been dancing to, almost certainly. They probably thought the stripograms had arrived. Anyway, they had a right little hissy fit and they chased those rude policemen down the street. And now policemen never bother gay people, ever. Except that one that arrested George Michael. For wanking at him.
Go for the ride, this time is yours. Coca-Cola, enjoy, enjoy.
What do I know? I know what love is. I know what it isn't. I know people. I know what makes them tick. I know dignity. I know all women are not a size 8. I know there are some things we're better off not knowing. I know when the drugs don't work. I know when they do. I know all this, but still I hunger for more.
Go ahead, Crinklins. They're crisp, they're delicious, and they're 85% fat-free. Go ahead. They can't touch you for it.
Red, where are you?
Find Red, and you can win 100,000 pounds.
He's about this high. Oh, where's Red? Have you seen a...
Big hint. Red's picture is printed on the inside of the winning bag of M&Ms.
Red? What?
Yellow's not gonna find him. Maybe you will.
From the director of The Shawshank Redemption comes an extraordinary motion picture event.
What did you just do to me?
Nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Supporting Actor Michael Clarke Duncan.
You leave the light on after bedtime.
And Best Picture of the Year, The Green Mile.
I won't have it out sminting till 3 in the morning.
Aren't you being a little overprotective?
Oh, Daddy!
Smint. Intensely stimulating.
Show. Still to come, we look forward to Life under Livingston.
But first, another look at tonight's top stories.
TV licence fee to increase by £3. BBC announces rights to World Conquer Championships.
Ken Livingston loses election. Chinese doctor recommends Viagra.
Thai hookers use poison on their breasts. 41 men die happy.
And those were tonight's top stories. This weekend, after months of bitter wrangling and debate, the Labour Party finally came to a decision. John Prescott must stop blowing off during Prime Minister's question time. And while they're there, also decided to pick Frank Dobson for London Mayor or something.
But with defeated Ken Livingston threatening to stand as an independent, Labour spin doctors are doing their damnedest to spew out lies about what would become of London under Ken's control.
We've got hold of 5 of these so-called Livingston lies, so if you hear any of these, please ignore them.
Lie number 1. As soon as he becomes mayor, Ken will introduce new bank holidays to commemorate the birthdays of Stalin, Chairman Mao, and call my bluff lady lover, Sandy Togsvik.
Lie number 2. Ken will rename the capital Livingstongrad and will rule it with a Politburo made up entirely of fat Russian-speaking gay men. Lie number 3. To simulate queuing, Livingston will immediately close all of London's bread shops, except for one, Greg's the Baker's. Bread will cost a day's wages, be made from potatoes, and be served to you by Red Wedge superstar Billy Bragg.
Lie number 4. As soon as he takes power, he would draft a new bill whereby everyone within the M25 must be very gay for 1 hour every day. This is to include visitors to Heathrow who'll be instructed upon arrival. And finally, lie number 5. Livingston will take personal control of news programmes. Items critical of his regime will be replaced by shots of tractors. And London Tonight presenter Mary Nightingale will be replaced by a Soviet equivalent.
And those were the Labour Party's terrifying Livingston lies.
Now time to tell you about tonight's guest. He appears more regularly in The Sun than Posh Spice and Dr. Shipman put together. As the world's #1 showbiz columnist, he's on first-name terms with Madonna, Cher and Sting. A man well-loved by all A-list celebs. Phil Collins once threatened to smack him in the gob, which makes him all right in our book. Please welcome Dominic Mohan.
Nice to meet you.
And to you too.
Now, Dominic, you're Britain's king of gossip, so you know what's fact and what's fiction when it comes to the celebs, OK?
Supposedly, yeah.
And we'd like to ask you about some stories, and you tell us if they're true or false.
OK.
In other words, we need to play our cleverly constructed game, Real or Rumour.
Whoa.
This is the flash title.
OK.
Real or Rumour. Nicole Appleton and Leonardo DiCaprio disappeared into the toilets after the premiere of The Beach and...
What does that mean?
It means he did this in
He
front
held
of
his
her,
hands like that.
then he gave her one.
Well, I know... they were at a party in a hotel afterwards, and the two of them definitely disappeared into a hotel room together, into a hotel toilet room together. I'll leave the rest up to people's imaginations, but they definitely disappeared for about half an hour, so...
Oh, that's good. Real or rumour? Mark Allman was once taken to hospital and they found a pint of spunk in his stomach. Is that real or true?
I think it's half true. I think it's half a pint.
But I heard it was Gary Glitter, you see. That's the kind of thing my friend of a friend of a friend says that
Yeah, I think that's one of these urban myths, to be honest.
Gary Glitter kissed my hand when I was 17. Different kettle of fish, yep, I know.
Oh, I'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah, well, we've got a story there. Yeah.
OK, real or rumour? Judy Finnegan from This Morning, is she liking a bit of that?
She does like a little bit of a drink, but don't we all? I don't think she's an alcoholic, no.
Well, let's just take a look at a picture.
All right, I'll get back to you on that.
OK, here's another one. Britney Spears had a boob job when she claimed she was having surgery on her knee. Is that real or rumour?
Well, she's always denied it, but it's very odd. She did go in for knee surgery and then, like, 2 weeks later came out with, like, 36 double D breasts, so it's got to be true.
She has got massive jugs.
She has. She claims they just grew very quickly, which is...
They
puberty
don't move
gone
when
mad,
she
isn't
dances.
it?
I'm not thinking that she's...
No, I think it's got to be right.
What about Posh Spice?
I don't know.
No, don't think Posh Spice has.
Really?
They went big the other day at the fashion show, didn't they? No, they were tightly compressed.
I think it depends how much Brooklyn gets out of them.
Right, of course.
Or David.
Yeah, right.
Now, roly-poly queen of daytime television, Vanessa Feltz, had an affair with Pete Tong.
You may laugh, but they did have a snog when they were 10, but I don't know if she got her hand on his 12 inches.
OK, now, we've asked you about some light-hearted stories, all of which are obviously not true, ladies and gentlemen. Naming no names, could you dish the dirt on some real celebrity indiscretions? I want filth now, Dominic, filth.
There was another very famous male singer who had a threesome with 2 members of a famous girl band. Very recently as well.
Right.
And he's married as well.
A male
They're not,
singer.
though.
A married male singer?
Yeah.
OK, and would we all know him?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
OK.
Yeah. Many number ones.
What is the man's... Is this man married now?
Yeah, he is married.
What does his wife think about...
Not happy.
She's not happy?
Bumped into them recently and had a bit of a slanging match with them.
Oh, really?
Oh, the 3 girls?
Yeah.
And is his wife famous?
Yeah, his wife's famous as well.
Oh, but, so it was a 3-girl fight, so it was the 2 girls against the wife?
Yes.
The 2 girls that know each other, do they know each other really well?
Yeah, extremely well.
What about the next story?
The next story
This is my favourite.
The next story is the worst one. The next story is the wife of a very famous entertainer was photographed having sex with the family's Alsatian.
Now, this is true, is it?
This is absolutely true.
This is absolutely true.
How do you know it's absolutely true? Just let me check.
Because I've seen the photo.
You've not brought them with you, have you?
I'll show you later.
Right, OK,
I've got them at home in the album, actually.
So this is the wife of a famous entertainer having sex with an Alsatian. When was this man famous?
Oh, in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is his wife famous as well? Would we know who she was?
Only famous through him, really.
All right.
The Alsatian's not particularly well known.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dominic Mohan.
To be a bit careful,
Bill Gates is a genius. He's not only the world's richest man, he's also the world's dullest. He's just launched Windows 2000, the groundbreaking software that's set to revolutionise the way your computer crashes.
But is it really any good? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a B. But it does have hidden flaws, which the hype fails to mention. So here's our guide.
Windows 2000 might be capable of displaying high-resolution video on your screen, but it won't explain to your mother exactly why it is that you're kneeling in front of the computer while it plays a video clip of a man penetrating an otter.
The new programme should make the internet more easy to use, but it still won't be able to tell you if that 17-year-old cheerleader in Houston you've just arranged to marry isn't actually your own dad upstairs on the second line.
Bill Gates reckons Windows 2000 is more reliable than ever before, but if your computer does go wrong, it won't prevent a horrified PC World technician from discovering the thousands of sick pictures of split beavers and otters stored on your machine.
This new software will allow you to communicate with millions of people around the globe at the touch of a button. However, it won't take away the hollow, aching void in your bleak soul or help you make a single real human friend.
And that was our guide to the terrifying future world of Windows 2000. The government has decided to give the go-ahead for a £3 rise in the licence fee to fund the BBC's expansion into digital TV.
To find out more, here's Paul Garner with his report.
Culture Club Secretary Chris Smith yesterday announced the government's plan to raise the TV licence fee by just £3 a year. Disappointed BBC bosses had wanted an extra £700 million a year. 100 million to fund new digital channels, and 600 million to keep Vanessa Feltz in Prozac and pizzas. The corporation now faces the prospect of making savings of £1.1 billion over the next 7 years. Today there was further embarrassment for the BBC when a leaked document revealed proposed details of cost-cutting measures. First to go will be the BBC's first-class quality sports coverage, which is bad news for the millions of viewers hooked on table tennis, bowls and the world's strongest man. Children's BBC also faced cutbacks as it was announced that to save on running costs, the number of Blue Peter pets would have to be downsized. And there will be considerably less funding for the groundbreaking channel idents. With increased competition in the digital sector, Director General Greg Dyke has revealed plans of radical new programmes, which combine the mass appeal of broadcasters such as Sky with traditional BBC values. These include Grind Force. A lucky viewer gets the chance to have his garden revamped while polling Charlie Dimmock from various angles. And fuck me, it's Charlie Dimmock again. This 6-part fly-on-the-wall docusoap follows Charlie Dimmock's pendulous breasts while she changes rooms in Carol Smiley's home as Ainsley Harriott prepares a banquet in under 15 minutes on Jeremy Spake's arse. The BBC also plans to follow the technological lead set by Sky's sports service. EastEnders will be the first to benefit from the introduction of a player cam, which allows viewers to follow their favourite cast members even when they're off-screen. This is Paul Garner for the 11 o'clock show, outside BBC Television Centre.
And for more on that story, go back live to Paul Garner in Shepherd's Bush. Paul, what are the latest developments at the BBC?
Well, Ian, the latest is of the cutbacks that the BBC will have to implement to save money. Producers of the holiday programme will have to send their presenters to less exotic locations, although it will be difficult for them to find anywhere cheaper or nastier than the windswept northern shitholes that they normally send Angela Rippon to. The government are keen to point out that the increase will not affect the elderly, as all over 75s will receive free television licences. This does, however, mean that they will forfeit their right to complain about taste and decency issues, which is good news for viewers who enjoy foul language and gratuitous muff shots.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Thanks, Ian.
That's all from tonight's show.
Before we go, the speculation that Ken Livingston will stand as an independent candidate for mayor increased today as he was seen in talks with an expert on the underground.
And before you turn over, please take some time to heed this important charity appeal. Good night.
Hello. Imagine a tiny pussycat. Soft, cuddly, wet nose, perfectly healthy. Meow. Ah. Imagine if 2 12-year-old boys used its anus as a pencil sharpener. That's not very nice, is it? You know it needn't happen. Please, please send us some money now. Have a heart. A tiny kitten. Come on. Don't be a